On today's Primetime Local News, ground breaks on a new 55-plus community in the city. Hear what developers are saying about the unique concept. And the Lloydminster Barons are back on the field preparing for the upcoming season. Plus, Ribfest is back. We have details on this year's event that supports Border City Connects.
Prime Time Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Good evening, I'm Jace Mackey. Thank you for joining us. Closer to home, a new 55-plus community is coming to Lloydminster. Nautical Land Group broke ground on their Wellings of Lloydminster community, a project developers are calling unique.
There's really no option like this for seniors wanting to downsize, but they don't need care or they don't want meals. And this is what the Wellings option is.
The project, located near 29th Street and 72nd Avenue, will feature over 60 1- and 2-bedroom single-story villas, as well as a clubhouse with amenities such as a fitness center and games room. Developers say this concept provides independence in a maintenance-free community and offers a month-to-month leasing model.
We believe that it's important that seniors take their money that they've, saved their whole lives, their capital, they have an opportunity now with the market to sell their home at a good price, and then they just lease. So you're not tying up your capital, and it's month-to-month lease, which means that if they're not happy, they can give us 30 days notice and leave.
Nautical Land says Lloydminster was a perfect fit for them, and the Lloydminster project is their biggest footprint. Mayor Albers says the project will have a big impact on the city.
They're working with local trades. We're working with local suppliers. Nelson Homes, a company that started in this city and continues to play a major role as an employer, supporter of the community. Business is going to be involved. I understand they're going to be involved with Nautical Lands and other projects. So that has spin-off effects to our community as well. So I think it well goes past the $100 million mark.
More information can be found at wellingsoflloydminster.com. The LGBTQ+ Society of Lloydminster had exciting news when City Council gave them permission to do a rainbow crosswalk for Pride Month. Sarah Baker reports.
For the first time, City Council has approved the request for a rainbow crosswalk from the LGBTQ+ Society, a request the Society has wanted for years.
We're very excited that things have finally aligned and been approved for the Rainbow Crosswalk. We've actually been trying for a few years to get it approved, and each year when we have our Pride Week festivities, people are always asking, like, why don't we have a crosswalk? When are you getting a crosswalk? And so it's always been like our goal, and we have tried, and this is the first year that it's actually come to fruition, so we're actually very excited.
The Rainbow Crosswalk is another step forward for the community to increase inclusiveness.
I believe that the city is very inclusive and all-inclusive for everyone from the perspective. The committee that came forward for the crosswalk, the Rainbow Crosswalk, have been active and involved in the community in various states, as well as other organizations. And certainly, as an example, we have an annual parade, and the encouragement was for everyone to take advantage of that parade rather than having 5 or 6, 8 different parades throughout the year. If there's an opportunity for everyone to join in the parade, it is all-inclusive, all welcoming for everyone.
The hopes the Society has for the crosswalk is for it to help raise awareness about pride within the community.
We really want to help develop a sense of community and inclusivity in the city, and each year we try and grow our community and increase awareness, and this will truly help us accomplish that.
Painting of the crosswalk will commence in Bud Miller Park on Wednesday, June 15th, when the event starts at 6 p.m., where anyone is welcome to attend. Sarah Baker, Primetime Local News, Lloydminster.
The Olive Tree is once again running a competition to show off kids' sidewalk art. Stacey Comer has the details.
Anna Thompson from the Olive Tree is with us today. Today we're going to be talking about the 3rd annual Sidewalk Chalk competition. Jana, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Jana, you guys have had a great response to this in the past years. Can you tell us a little bit about how the contest works?
So how it works is kids at home, there's no need to come down for an event or anything like that, can create their own chalk drawings kind of on their sidewalks or in their driveway or wherever they would like. They then take pictures and post them on our event page, and then we get to vote on them.
Well, there's some pretty great prizes too for anybody who enters. Tell me about the top prizes.
Yeah, so 90 Lloyd Country 95.9 sponsored a bike this year, so that's awesome. So one lucky little kid will be getting a brand new bike. And then Walking on Water always also sponsors and does this amazing prize pack. She always puts together something really fun for the second place.
Is there an age limit for the kids that are taking part in this?
Yes, so kids aged 6 to 12 can enter the competition.
And what about skill level? If some of the kids maybe aren't, up to total artistic drawings, does it matter about what skill level they are to enter this?
No, anybody can enter. They can, lots of times we see parents kind of step in and help a little bit as well, especially if they're younger. We do take that into account generally when we are judging the photos, but any age from 6 to 12, whatever skill level can enter.
And is there a limit to the number of times that you can enter? Is it just one entry per person, or can you enter a couple drawings if you like?
Generally, we just do one entry per kid.
How did you guys come up with this idea to start with? Was it something that came out of the pandemic?
Yes, it actually was. We wanted something to still bring the community together and give something for the kids to do when their kind of world was a little bit shaken up at that very beginning of the pandemic. So we came up with this. It was an easy way for kids to participate in something, but still be social distance. There was no need for judges to come around. It was just all online. And we had such a great response the first year and as well as last year. So we're happy that it's now our third annual competition that we're having. And we're just excited for the kids to be able to do something again.
What are the dates where people can submit their entries for this contest?
So they can submit their entries anywhere from June 13th to 17th. Entry will close at the 7 p.m. on the 17th. And then we will announce the winners on Saturday at 9 a.m.
Now, you did mention this is all online, Jana. So do people just submit it to the Facebook page? Can they send it by email, or what is the best way to submit the drawings?
The easiest way is to submit it to the event page, because then I can upload them directly on there. That's how our judges will see it. If they would like to email or private message, they can definitely do that as well if they're more comfortable with that.
All right, Jana. Well, thanks for talking to us today. This is like such a great competition. And as you said, you don't have to come down. It's easy. Kids are out playing on the sidewalk at this time of year anyway. So once again, if people are trying to find you to submit this, what is the best way? Can they just search for the Olive Tree on Facebook? Is that where the events are located?
Yes, so if you go to the Olive Tree on Facebook, they can directly see the chalk competition on there. If they have problems finding it, they can either give us a call or shoot us a message and we can direct them, or they can just message the Olive Tree directly with their photo and we can upload it for them.
All right, well, thank you so much for speaking with us today, Jana.
You're welcome. Thanks again for having me.
Focusing on remembering and honoring Indigenous culture is what the members of Buffalo Trail Public School Divisions plan on doing this Indigenous History Month. Here's Sarah Baker.
Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me on today to talk about this very important month, National Indigenous History Month.
It's all about remembering the legacy this month of residential schools, and it is important. How do you think youths are affected by that legacy today?
I'm going to refer back to the Chief Commissioner's words from the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. And Senator Murray Sinclair indicated that reconciliation is about memorializing those who were victims of a great wrong. And it's important to remember so we learn from it. And how are our students impacted? Our students are learning from this, so we are able to celebrate our Indigenous people within the province, within Canada, and ensure that we don't do that wrong again.
Do you think that there's a way that Indigenous education can be better in our current system?
I am so proud of the work that our staff does at Buffalo Trail Public Schools, because they use all the months of the year, not just National Indigenous History Peoples Month, but they definitely embed the knowing, the doing, the understanding of our Indigenous people within their curriculum. They do great celebrations, great awareness, great lesson plans to ensure that this is a topic of discussion and learning throughout the school year. So how can it be better? I think it can just be enhanced and continued in Buffalo Trail Public Schools.
One of the things in the press release that was mentioned was a Hapara workspace, which was built by the learning supports team. What exactly is a Hapara workspace and what will it do for the students?
I'm extremely proud of our learning services team, and we're leading the province. We have a collaboration on Hapara, and so it's, I would say, similar to a Google Classroom that's enhanced. So all of our staff, all of our students have access to an area where there's lesson plans, ideas for visiting cultural events or supporting learning, land-based learning activities in this workspace. So you don't have to go outside and Google and try and find your own activities. This workspace has information provided that are readily available for K-12 learners within our system.
It's all about honoring, of course, the Indigenous community this month, and not only this month, you said throughout the year. What does the school have planned, though, specifically for this month?
Our schools have planned and promoted National Indigenous History Month and then National Indigenous Peoples Day on June 21st. So what you will see in our schools, you'll see various celebrations, powwows, drumming, cultural events that are hosted within their schools. They've had various elders or knowledge keepers come in or will be coming in to celebrate National Indigenous History Peoples Month. Our teachers are providing lessons to learn about the legacy of residential school or to learn about different ways of knowing, learning, and being of our Indigenous people. So there's many celebrations, many lessons, many opportunities for our students and staff to learn together this month in all of our BTPS schools.
How do you think reconciliation efforts are going within the school community and elsewhere?
Well, within the school community, I think we are definitely on the road to reconciliation because it's about remembering what has happened and ensuring that we bring those conversations to the forefront, that we continue our learning and we're not avoiding those conversations, and we're supporting students and staff in being able to do that. So I do feel that we're definitely supporting reconciliation by having conversations and having events and celebrations about our Indigenous people.
And those were all my questions today, but is there anything perhaps that I have missed from my questions that you would like to add about what the school is doing?
Well, one of the things that we're doing, and I commit also to the calls of action in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's report. And this month, I really did commit to the call of action 63.2, where I'm sharing supports and resources to our schools and to our teachers for best practices within the classroom. So that's part of our Hapara workspace. That's part of a newsletter that gets released to staff, because I do find that it's just very important that we're all learning on the journey and sharing information when that's available.
And now here's a look at your evening weather forecast with Shelby Clark.
Thanks so much, JCS, taking a first look at your weather forecast. Another gorgeous day here in the border city. We are sitting at 23 degrees, seeing a mixture of some sun and cloud. We're seeing some beautiful Toy Story skies out there right now with those clouds, is what I call them personally. But we did see a lot more sun, of course, throughout the day. So hopefully everybody is out there and enjoying it, getting out there with those outdoor activities, going to the outdoor pool, Bud Miller, whatever you'd like to do. Have a nice picnic. I hope everybody is taking advantage and enjoying these beautiful days and staying safe as well. So make sure you are using using that sunscreen when needed. And now switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, we're seeing still some nice temperatures overall for most spots, seeing past that 20-degree mark. St. Paul is just reaching that 21, while most spots are seeing around 23, 24 degrees. Vermilion is just at that 22 mark, and up in Cold Lake, they're slightly cooler, just at 19. Switching now to our Saskatchewan side, they are seeing those double digits kind of matching with us on the Alberta side as well, seeing most spots past the 20-degree mark. Green Lake is probably the coolest, just sitting at 19, while the rest are seeing around 20 and 22 degrees for most spots. St. Walburg and North Battleford just seeing 21, and Macklin and Maidstone are seeing the warmest there with 24, and Maidstone is even reaching 25. And for North Battleford, from 21, they will be cooling down to a low of 12. So we are still seeing those double digits continue on for our evening low temperatures. We will be seeing a couple clouds in sight. Then tomorrow, they will be warming up to 22 throughout the day. But unfortunately, they'll be starting off in the morning of slightly cloudier conditions with having a little bit of a drizzle throughout the day there. So still seeing a warmer temperature. Cold Lake will be cooling down to a low of 14. They will be seeing a high chance of some rainfall throughout their evening. That will continue throughout the night into their morning with 19 throughout the day, and they will be seeing those cloudier conditions as well. And for us in the border city, unfortunately, we will be seeing a high chance of some rainfall later on through the evening tonight at 13. So seeing a nice temperature overall. Then we will be seeing 22 tomorrow with a little bit more sun peeking behind those clouds, but get ready because we will be seeing some light drizzle as well. And now ending off with our 3-day forecast for here in the border city. Unfortunately, as I was saying, we will be seeing a high chance of some rainfall for the next couple days. We will still be seeing some high temperatures for our weekend though, so still a beautiful weekend. And hopefully this will help all the crops and the farmers here in Saskatchewan. So hopefully everybody will still enjoy it, but don't worry, we'll be seeing those 22s continue on. That's all I got for now. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
7 months after the last football game, the Lloydminster Barons are back on the turf once again. Spring camp kicked off on Tuesday at Armstrong Field as the team went through multiple drills to get into the groove of things and improve on their game. The Barons will play exhibition games this weekend against some of the best high school teams in the province, something that the team is pumped for.
We can play against the best players in the province, they can play against us, and we can just take some key pointers from them and learn from our mistakes early before going into Wheatland here.
The Barons will go to Sherwood Park on June 11th to face teams from Lethbridge, Sherwood Park, and Grand Prairie. And now it's time to check in again with Shelby Clark, who has another look at your evening forecast.
Thanks so much again, Mr. Jace Mackey. Now taking another look at your weather forecast here in the border city. We're going to be starting off, with the central zone of our provinces to kind of check out what the temperatures are so far on the Alberta and Saskatchewan side. And on the Alberta side, we have warmed up from what we have been seeing earlier on in the week. So we are seeing all past that 20 points. So we definitely are seeing some beautiful temperatures. Jasper has just reached that point with 21 in Rocky Mountain House. Most spots just reaching 22, and Edmonton is slightly warmer, just reaching 23. Switching over to our Saskatchewan side, they are surprisingly looking slightly cooler compared to the Alberta side, only by a couple 1 to 2 degrees actually though, but usually they have been seeing some slightly warmer temperatures throughout the week compared to the Alberta side. Melfort is just at 19, while most spots are just reaching that 21 mark. Meadow Lake is at 20, and Cold Lake is also just sitting at 19. Now going over to our northern zone to kind of check them out, they have definitely been continuing that warm streak on the Saskatchewan side. They're almost like Stony Rapids, Uranium City have even reached that 26 mark, so even getting closer to 30 degrees. 23 in La Loche and Buffalo Narrows, while there's 24 over in South End, 21 in La Ronge and Wollaston Lake, and Flin has just reached that 20 point. And going back to our Alberta side here, they are seeing some warmer temperatures as well. Fort McMurray and Slave Lake slightly cooler compared to the rest with 17 and 19, but the rest are looking a lot warmer. Peace River and Grand Prairie just at 21 degrees. High Level is at 23, and Fort Chipewyan is at 25. So northern region definitely looking a lot warmer than what they are used to. And going over to our southern region now to kind of check them out, they are warming up slightly from what they have been seeing earlier on in the week. They were warming up slowly. 23 in Coronation and Lethbridge, while Calgary is just at 22. Medicine Hat is seeing the warmest there at that 24 mark, and Banff is slightly cooler, just at 16. Going back to our Saskatchewan side here, they're seeing some slightly warmer temperatures compared to the Alberta side. Regina and Yorkton slightly cooler with 16, 18. The rest seeing past 20 degrees. 24 in both Estevan and Kindersley. 23 in Moose Jaw, and Swift Current is at 25. So we're seeing some gorgeous temperatures with checking out the southern, northern, and central regions of our provinces. And now going back across the region, seeing what we will expect throughout our evening and throughout the night. We'll be pretty happy temperature-wise, I would say, because we are seeing those double digits for every spot now for our evening low temperatures. And that's good to see that we are warming up as we head more into the summer season. Definitely better than seeing those low of minus 30s and minus 40s that we're used to seeing in the winter. Paradise Hill, Unity, and Meadow Lake will be expecting to see a low of 12. Isla Cross and Pearsland will be expecting to see a low of 13 degrees, while Wainwright and Provost will be seeing a low of 14, and Bonnyville and Myrna will be seeing the warmest with a low of 15 and 16. So although we will be seeing some nice temperatures, most spots will be seeing some rainier conditions, unfortunately, later on in the evening and throughout the night. And ending off with our 7-day forecast, we will be seeing that precipitation continue here in the border city for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, unfortunately, but seeing some warmer temperatures, so still quite beautiful days. And we will be seeing that warm streak continue on into next week as well. That is another look at your weather forecast. RJ Smack, will have more news coming up after the break.
Joining us today for Primetime Local News is Glenn Fagnan with Border City Connects. Really happy to be able to have you on here, so thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, Glenn.
Well, thanks for having us. Really appreciate it.
Of course, glad we're able to have you on here finally to be able to speak on this, because we have an exciting event coming up here for people in the border city. I think it's what everybody gets really excited for every year. It's definitely a delicious event. We got RibFest 2022 coming up here. So let's start off with the details on this. What exactly are the dates, and will it still be at the Lloyd X grounds?
You bet. So the dates, it's the Father's Day weekend. So it starts on Friday the 17th at 11 a.m. and goes to Sunday at 7 p.m. Sorry. And so, yeah, it's a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And of course, with this event, for the last 2 years, due to the pandemic, it was a drive-through. What's exactly changing this year now for RibFest?
Well, it's going to have a completely different look. I mean, previously, the last two years, this is our third annual, have both been drive-ins. So we've been very successful at that. We've had over 10,000 people come through each year in vehicles. So we're hoping for at least that much, maybe double, that will be coming to the live event. So there's lots good. It's going to be at the Lloyd exhibition again. We do have an entertainment center that you'll be able to grab your barbecue, and whether that be ribs or chicken or pulled pork or brisket, and take it into the stockade and eat inside. Or we have picnic tables outside, and we're going to be having a band a number of local bands that are going to be playing there during the day. And then in the evening on both Friday and Saturday night, we're going to have a free cabaret for anybody that wants to attend. We've got a kids zone that we're going to have for on the kids, with a bouncy house and some different activities. So we're going to have a little bit of everything there, Shelby, for all ages and everyone within the community.
And you were saying that the Border City Connect saw some great support over these past couple of years with having RibFest from everybody in the community. So you're kind of expecting to see that same support for this year?
Yeah, you bet. I mean, this community is always tremendous. We've gotten, on our sponsorships, everybody stepped up that has been sponsoring before, and we've got some new sponsors as well. So very important to have those aspects and to have the sponsorship there. And of course, we've had we need a lot of volunteers, and so we've been filling slots on the volunteers. So yeah, it's very exciting, and it's going to be interesting here. It's also there's no admission to it, so it's free to come in. So there's no cost to anybody going in, and it's just what you eat. And so for the Border City Connect Society, it truly is a lifeline for us to have this RibFest, and the dollars are going to be used just for our general operations. And certainly, we know when you start taking a look at how our fuel has risen and insurance, and the costs just keep going up. So this is really an important function for us to make a few pesos.
Oh, well, it's really amazing to hear how strong that community support can be, especially from organizations and everybody coming together for some positivity here in the community. So I really love to hear it. Now, how else can people help support the Border City Connects, alongside with coming to RibFest and enjoying the delicious food and entertainment? How else can they help support?
Well, we're always open for donations, of course. And so we do have, we're having our community 50-50. We're involved with 3 other nonprofits on our community 50-50. And so we will have those 4 nonprofits are going to be there selling 50-50. So that's another way of supporting the whole community group. But yeah, just coming out, we've got our own little booth that's going to be we'll be selling soft drinks, and we've got some locally sourced hot dogs and Smokies from Diamond 7. Just for there is the RCMP musical the tour going on there Friday and Saturday as well. So there's going to be a lot of people down at the Lloyd X, and some of them might not be there for the barbecue. So that's why we thought we would go with some secondary stuff. And we've got the border bakery on the border there. They're doing a dessert for us, and we're working with Startup Lloydminster on lemonade. And yeah, it's just a whole pile of community people involved, and that's what it's all about. Is we're helping with the Lloyd X. We assist them, and they get to make some money, and it's just trying to help other nonprofits as well in the community.
Perfect, Glenn. Well, I'm glad we were able to have you on here and be able to help get the word out about RibFest for this year. I'm sure everybody's excited with this beautiful weather finally out there as well. Is there any last things you want to add on this year's event?
We're very excited about it as well. We're very intrigued on the amount of numbers that we're going to have coming through, and hopefully we'll learn lots. This is going to be an annual event for us every Father's Day. That's the way that we've got it planned. So I just invite everybody to think about Dad or somebody special, and take them out and get them some barbecue for Father's Day.
Well, thanks so much for joining us, and it was great speaking with you again, Glenn.
We truly appreciate it there, Shelby. Thank you very much.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Okay. Let's go.
Calgary is experiencing exponential growth in the film sector, and obviously here to discuss that is Luke Azevedo, VP Commissioner of Film, TV and Creative Industries at the Calgary Economic Development. Luke, great to have you with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I know that you're at the Calgary Film Center, of course, but before we touch up on that, I want to talk a little bit about you and what you do. Obviously, you've been in the game for quite some time. Tell us a little bit of what goes on with you.
Yeah, I'm a seasoned veteran now, let's call it. Okay. So so my job is multifaceted. So first and foremost, as VP of Creative Industries, it's my job to ensure that there is the growth and development of all of the creative industries, not just film and television, interactive digital media, working with our civic and private sector partners to ensure that we're enhancing our ability to be a cultural, a cultural location that people see as an opportunity to come and spend their lives with their family, and to be a place where they want to come and create that life. I think this is part of our attractiveness now, is the cultural aspect of our city. In previous times it was about the house, it was about the shopping center and the trees and lined streets and such. Still exists, but culturally being able to be in a place where you're comfortable and have the opportunities to engage on a daily basis with that culture is extremely important. So we're happy to be part of that. And then the second part is on film and television, is and interactive digital media, which encompasses gaming, as well as digital entertainment. So for me, my job is to go out and entice folks to pay attention to Calgary and to Alberta, and to present opportunities here that bring them into our environment and give them an opportunity to see what's here. Once we have them here and we get a chance to showcase our world, it's a pretty easy sell in most instances. So I spend my time traveling to many places throughout the world, whether it's Los Angeles, whether it's Cannes, whether it's Berlin, Toronto, New York, just to ensure that we continue the momentum and that we're front of mind on projects as they're making decisions on where they'd like to shoot them. And we've been pretty successful here in the last little while, and hopefully that momentum continues.
That's fantastic. In March 2021, obviously, the province removed its $10 million per project tax credit cap in an effort to draw big films and television productions in Alberta. How has that impacted the industry, especially drawing in foreign direct investment in Alberta? And that's what you're doing a lot as well, right?
Yeah. So basically what it did is it told the world that we were open for business. So previous to that, we had on a per project basis, we could never exceed a $10 million investment on the project. So for us, that created significant impediments and limitations for the type of work that we could attract into the province. So for example, if we're competing against other regions in Canada and our 10 million is the top, well, everybody else is going to pass us when on these large projects. And there's no way that we can incentivize in other manners to attract the productions here. I mean, we are not the largest incentive in the world. We don't need to be, but we're also not the least incentive in the world. We're somewhere in the middle that allows us to be competitive nationally. That automatically makes us competitive internationally. So there is no fear now or any concern in being able to be competitive on projects the size of The Last of Us, or Under the Banner of Heaven, or The Revenant, or Fraggle or Fargo, or any of the other projects that we're competing with the world to attract to this province. Great crew, great infrastructure, all consistently growing. March 19th was the trigger point for us. 2021, when Minister Schweitzer identified that the cap was removed, and we then became a global player in this market.
Which is awesome. I mean, you obviously have traveled all over the place to meet big players, MGM Studios, HBO, and DreamWorks Studios as well, to bring in a lot of the movies, including Predator series, Prey. How has the Calgary Film Center, which opened in 2016, played a role in terms of getting all these productions done?
Well, you know, it was a piece of critical infrastructure at that point to really be considered a legitimate location for film and television globally. Infrastructure has to exist there. We also have winter here, so giving studios an opportunity to come into a purpose-built facility that could accommodate their needs, and at the same time, you know, they could be shooting in the mountains in the morning and being in the studio in the afternoon because of its proximity, being in the city. And being of the quality that it was, certainly did turn eyes towards Calgary and to Alberta. But it, you know, what it takes is three different components. So initially, and then there's two more that we can talk about afterwards. But so initially, what you get asked is three questions. What's your incentive? Is it competitive, and is it accessible? Secondly, what's your crew base? So are they world class, and how deep is it? How many projects can we do at one time? And thirdly was about infrastructure. You know, what do you have there for facilities, not just studio facilities like the Film Center, but also, you know, equipment like William F. White, like Panavision, like MBS, you know, all of the different, like MBS, who does a lot of work with our local and foreign productions. So there is a lot of opportunity here for us to be able to tell a different story when you had that type of infrastructure in place. And for us to be considered legitimate at that particular time, a purpose-built facility was critical for us to be able to say that we could compete with other jurisdictions in the country and then internationally.
I mean, we could talk about this forever. I know we're running out of time right now, but I think we're going to catch you again, of course, to continue this conversation. I think there's a lot happening in Alberta, and you're the guy for us to tell us what's going on, of course. So thank you so much, Luke. I really appreciate you being a part of this conversation with us.
Thank you, Judy. Pleasure to be here.
And that's it for our first hour of Primetime Local News. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and stay tuned for our next hour.